Welcome to Mountaineer Rants. I'm Terry. This is Paul, or as some might know us as Tommy and Dickie, but we know who you are out there. Here to review the Oklahoma Sooner game. We were not with you last week, but we're back now with a vengeance, and we were at this.
It was a
Oklahoma
road
game.
trip, and you'll see we drove through the hills of West Virginia from the great state of Virginia, through the snow, down into Morgantown. Did some delightful weather.
Yeah, rain and fog and car accidents every 100 yards, it seemed like. But we were Mountaineer fans.
And we went to see a team that was struggling in cold weather, in the rain, and we're pleased to say we saw about 45,000, 50,000 other Mountaineer fans watch us beat Oklahoma for the first time since we joined the Big 12.
First time
under
we've beaten them
head
since
coach
2008.
Neil Brown.
Yes, first time since 2008 was the last time we beat them in the bowl game, but we've never beaten them when we've been in the Big 12, but we did. And who was that coach again that did that?
It was a guy by the name of Brown.
Yeah.
Let me add to the nerd background on this. Last year, West Virginia went up to Oklahoma and had them tied. In fact, they never trailed in the game until Oklahoma kicked a field goal and won 17-14 at the closing gun. Now, that's one of the lowest scores West Virginia's ever held Oklahoma to. Under previous coaches, they were averaging about 50 points a game. This year, it was 20-20 at the end of the game when West Virginia kicked a field goal at the end of the game. And that's in those 2 years, the West Virginia defense held the elite program of Oklahoma to what? 37 points.
Your detractors will say that they're not as good as they used to be.
Of course. But the nerds will also say how many. They'll also use numbers against us without giving the context too. But my point is, it's an elite program for 2 years running under this head coach. 37 points in 2 games against Oklahoma, when typically Oklahoma scores 50 against us.
The other thing I was going to say, just real quick, and this is just a quick aside, the news came out yesterday that, depending on what you believe, either he was fired or forced out or resigned, was Shane Lyons, our athletic director. What that means for our program, we'll see. Normally athletic directors tied to football, so we'll see what happens there. But there's nothing more to report there. Nothing's going to change in the program.
I'm here
Nothing's
to talk
going to change till the end of the year.
Virginia
football. You got to throw it out there. It's
you guys can gossip about all that. I'm interested in the game. Those of you that didn't go to the game because you had given up on the Mountaineers or because you were otherwise busy, West Virginia, Oklahoma scored nothing in the first quarter, 12 in the second quarter, 8 in the third quarter, and nothing in the fourth. We held them scoreless in the fourth quarter. West Virginia had nothing in the first quarter, then 6 in the second quarter, 7 in the third, and 10 in the fourth quarter. Green, our J.T. Daniels was our starting quarterback, and Daniels was 7 for 12 for 65 yards and an interception.
Something's wrong with him. There's no question. I thought it on TV watching him, but seeing him in person, something's wrong. I don't know what it is.
Garrett Green played 2 series in the first half, and he played the entire second half. And Garrett gave us a spark. He was 12 for 22 for 138 yards, and he ran for 2 touchdowns and 119 yards. Threw for another one. It was a cold, wet afternoon. Our running backs, Mathis only had 53 yards on 23 tries. Johnson only had 23 yards on 7 tries.
Just about the time Justin Johnson, you thought he was going to get going, he fumbled the ball, and they didn't see him again until the fourth quarter.
On the other hand, Gray for Oklahoma, he ran 25 times, and he had over 211 yards and 2 touchdowns. So they ran all over us.
They kept running that little counter tackle guard pull and just powered their way. And it wasn't outside and wide most of the time. It was just straight up the middle or off tackle.
And they'd get past our line. Oklahoma got a field goal early and then scored a touchdown with 1 minute and 12 seconds to go in the half. A lot of people ran up the stands for the bathrooms or left the game or whatever. And if you did, with 1 minute and 12 seconds to go, you missed some scoring because West Virginia scored a touchdown in 3 plays on the kickoff. Sam James ran it back for 47 yards. We passed to Prather for 15. Green then rushed for 33 yards. and then rushed in for 5 yards and a touchdown. That's in the last minute and 12 seconds of the half. Then we blew
botched the
extra point. The snap was fumbled. Our kicker picked it up. He looked around like he was going to pass it, and then he got smacked, dropped the ball. They picked the ball up and ran it the length of the field, so they got 2 points, and we ended the half at 12-6.
12-6. What a weird score.
With those weird plays and all that stuff coming in the last minute. Now in the second half, it was a little more pedestrian in the beginning. West Virginia was three or four plays and a punt. Oklahoma gave up the ball on downs. And then we had a 12-play, 63-yard drive for our touchdown. And we scored with a pass to Bryce Ford Wheaton.
We almost blew that. We got down close. We got a delay of game penalty, backed us up, but then he threw the back shoulder fade to Wheaton, who made a really nice catch over top of the defender.
Threw it in the corner, and Wheaton went and fought for a 50-50 and came down with it. I've been calling for that pass all day. And when Wheaton fights for those, that's a good pass, and he goes and gets them. Sometimes he fights, sometimes he doesn't. He did on this one. It was very nice. Oklahoma then turned right around and on 7 plays put another touchdown in. In fact, they moved right down the field. They had it in, and they had a downfield block.
Yeah.
And they called a penalty on it. They reviewed it and said, nope, you got to do it again. And they did. And then they rushed for a 2-point conversion.
And they went to quarterback. Gabriel kept it for a 2-point conversion to make it 20-13.
20-13. Now, West Virginia didn't fiddle around after that. In 12 plays, they went 73 yards in 5 minutes with passes to Prather and James, rushes to Johnson. At one point, Johnson fumbled, and then Bryce Ford Wheaton recovered. I think that's probably the guy you were talking about.
I don't remember Wheaton recovering the fumble, but anyway, go ahead.
Then that was at the 36. We had an intercepted pass, but it was
but they had jumped offside, so we knew it was a free play. Green threw it away, the guy intercepted. Then James hit him while he was in the end zone at Neyland's. They could have called a penalty there. I thought they were going to, but they didn't. They waved that off, and we got the 4th and 6. We got the 5 yards, and then went and got the first down.
It was, and then on 4th and 10, we passed it to Prather to the 31. So we also had a fake punt at one point during the game too. So we were gambling.
That was on a 4th and 6 too. That's not. There wasn't a gimme for it, and it was on it coming around, and it was Sam James again. So I like Sam James.
So we stopped them on 4th downs several times. They didn't throw any interceptions to us. They didn't fumble the ball to us. They didn't give us the game. Now, so I've looked at some of the Oklahoma boards, and they're mad as can be that at the second guessing the play calling, they think they should have, when they went for it on 4th down, they thought they should have ran the ball instead of passing it. They didn't. They second guessed the kicks at one point. In any event, that particular series, Green then rushes in for 11 yards, and it's 20-20.
Tied the game, yeah.
Oklahoma goes 3 and out. Defense steps right up, 3 and out. West Virginia went 3 and out.
Get the ball and go 3 and out.
Oklahoma moves down the field in 8 plays, kicks a field goal, and I like to say that our
what was looking out after us?
Somebody was
Mountaineer gods.
It hit the goalpost. The goalpost blocked it.
Chris Berman would have gone doink, and that's what I yelled while I was there.
Because it was high, it was good, and it hit right on the goalpost that knocked it out. It didn't go in.
It didn't go in. It didn't bounce in. It didn't, even with all the rain, it didn't slip in. It just plunk back. It was great.
So somebody up there likes us.
They were looking at it. We were meant to win. That's what we were saying at the time.
But a good team takes charge. And West Virginia took charge after that. They went 15 plays. They went 65 yards to Mathis, to Prather, to Mathis, to Mathis. Then Green ran the ball to the 50-yard line. Then Mathis, then Bryce Ford Wheaton
on a 4th down on a little screen pass. That was great. And remember, we got the ball here. There was like 6.5 minutes to go or more. And we never gave the ball back to him.
Never gave the ball back. We burned up most of it. The pass to Bryce Ford Wheaton was on 4th and 3, so we went for it again and got it. It's tie game. We passed to Mathis. Green rushed to the 21-yard line. Mathis was stopped. Green passed to Bryce Ford. Green rushed to the 10-yard line, then to the 6. In the process, I think we could have moved quicker, but we were making them burn up their timeouts.
We didn't want to leave any time on the clock.
So with 4 seconds left to go, and we'll give you some insights because we brought back we got some video up front stuff. With 4 seconds left to go, we did to them what they did to us last year, and the crowd went wild. My compliments.
A kicker with the greatest name, Casey Legg, of any kicker there ever is. And I love this guy because if you saw watch his interview after the game, you can check it out on YouTube about why he has a piece about him. And that's kind of why he doesn't get excited, and that's why he makes these plays.
There were 2 Oklahoma fans sitting in front of us from North Carolina, and my compliments to those old birds. They stuck it out to the very last kick. Yeah. And I'm telling you, you could see your breath. It was raining. It was cold. It was wet.
It was windy.
Neither of these teams are going to be in the Final Four. These were true fans. My compliments for them. I'm proud of all the fans who were there, and I'm proud to watch a game with fans like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. It was just a great experience, even with all of the bad weather. It was crappy weather, but the outcome was great.
We went up there with the goal of having seen Texas get beat in Morgantown last year, maybe not to come back to Morgantown. We may never see them in Morgantown. And now we went up and saw Oklahoma get beat in Morgantown.
Their last time probably ever in Morgantown.
Probably the last time, and good for the Mountaineers, and good for the fans. And we're now we've just got to win 2 more games and go win a bowl.
I'm with you.
And we've got a dual threat here now because we've got 2 quarterbacks nobody knows who to prepare for.
That's true. Daniels and Grant. And Neil even hinted at maybe a little bit of Nico because you don't have to redshirt him anymore. So that might be interesting for next week. So check out our preview for the Kansas State game. It's great to be back with you. And
Steve, we promise we'll give you a steady diet of our insight. Our experts are happy to do so.
Absolutely.
Be sure and check the like and follow and
share and subscribe.